Hey, welcome. In this video, vendors are going to be able to select the category they would like to upload the products to. Okay, now to do this, what you have to do is to go to the upload tab screen, then the general underscore screen, the dot file. Okay, and now the first step is to use Ctrl and B to make this wide. And the second step is to retrieve our categories. And we've done this before when we retrieve our banners. I'm just going to show you this quickly. Collapse this, and this is the views for the buyers and banners, you can see. So this is basically it. You can easily just copy this and then change the name of the collection to categories. But for the sake of mastering, we are going to be doing this one more time. Okay, back to this and general. So first of all, we want to have access to the Cloud Firestore package. So what we can do is we can get rid of this and then we can create a finder and we can just go ahead and specify the type of variable we are about to create. It is a type of Firebase Firestore, and now we can call this variable underscore Firestore. It's going to be equal to Firebase Firestore then dot instance. Okay, great. And now we want to create a function in order to retrieve our categories. To do this, we can make this function a private function. That is, we do not want to be able to access this function outside this file. And we can call this function get categories. And now we want to return this variable we have over here underscore firestore, and we want to have access to the collection, and the name of the collection is called categories. In order for us not to make any spell mistake, what we can easily just do is to copy this and head back to our VS Code and then paste. And then we want to get, and after getting the categories, we want to loop over each categories or loop over each document we have. And you can see currently we have just two documents or two categories. And for sure, you can add as many categories as you want. Dot get, then dot then. And the value is referring to the document we have over here. But to make this a bit much more cleaner, or to use the programming word, what we can do is we can get rid of this value and call it query snapshot. And we can just go ahead and specify first this type of value or variable is going to be a type of query snapshot. And this, remember, this query snapshot is basically referring to the documents we have or the values we have over here and back. And we can then get rid of this. And the next step is to loop over each document we have. So we can then say for this value, that is the value we have or the document we have over here, and remember this query snapshot is referring to that value, so we can easily just call that query snapshot. We can then say for query snapshot dot docs, that is for each document we have. Sorry, dot for, we can use the for each. Instead of this element, in order to make it a bit much more easier to read, we can change this to doc. That is for each document we have. You can see over here, we are basically saying for each document we have over here, then we want to save it to a variable which we are about to create. But first of all, add your semicolon over here. And over here, we want to set the state. But unfortunately, we cannot set the state when using a stateless widget. So what we have to do is to migrate from a stateless widget to a stateful widget. To do this, all you just have to do is to alight and use Ctrl and dot, and you're going to see convert to stateful widget. And over here, we can then create a finder, and it's going to be a type of list of string because we basically want to store text. And now we can call this category list. And default, we can set this to an empty list. And now we want to set state. Set state and call the underscore category list, then dot add. And the value, we just want to add this document. And within this document we want to get a specific field. You can see we have this document, and the name of this document is called clli.png, and we just want to get the category name and save it onto that list we have over here, category name. And this is basically it. And finally, we have to call this get cat underscore get category list. And the way we want to call this function is we want to call this function whenever the user visits this general tab screen. You can see currently I'm in this screen. When I visit this screen, then I want to trigger the get categories function. To do this, we are going to be using a method known as initState. And within this to do implement initState, we can get rid of this and call the underscore get category list. Sorry, underscore get get categories. And this is basically it. And in the next lecture, finally, we are going to create a widget known as drop down button form field, and we are going to be able to select a category. You can try to do this on your own because I think we did this within the vendor registration. We used that widget called drop down button form field, and see if you can do that. See if you can create that over here. Then in the next lecture, we are just going to do this together.